So can anyone tell me now which device is dropping traffic? Why? No, I am not getting. What, bro? No, see, when I will ping PC2 from PC1, source IP will be dot .1, destination dot .2. It will forward to router 1. Router 1 will check their routing table. Route is available in their routing table via ASA firewall, right? See the routing table of R1. So IP route 2.0 network is there. So it will forward traffic to this IP address ASA firewall. Exit interface 0/1. When ASA will receive it, again it will compare destination with routing table. Two dot zero network is there via this IP address, means router number 2. On which interface? Building 2. Spelling is wrong, don't worry. So it will forward traffic to router number 2. Zeros by 6. Where is 0 by 6? 0 by 6 is ASA firewall. Okay. Now can I ping ASA firewall from PC1? Can I ping ASA firewall from PC1? Don't worry guys, right now ASA firewall is dropping traffic. That is concept of firewall. Soon we are going to discuss that also. For now, can PC1 ping to ASA firewall? Yes. Can PC1 telnet to router number 1? From PC number 1, can I telnet to router 1? Telnet 1.254. Telnet is by default enabled, but you can see password is required, but password is not set, right? And so TCP brief, we can check connection as well. You can see we don't have any logical connection of telnet. So on router number 1, we need to enable it. Simply I can say line VTY 0, and either I can say no login, login, and then password 1 2 3. Now can I access router 1 from PC1? Password 1 2 3. Now you can see I have access. Can I see in this mode I cannot configure the router, but I need to configure it. So I will enable mode. So to enter enable mode, I will run command enable here. But what it's saying, no password set. This time it is talking about enable password. So enable password is password on router which is applied between user mode and enable mode. User mode and enable mode. So if someone have access, let's say you are a network engineer, a company, you are authority person to view the configuration, but you are not allowed to modify the configuration. So I will give you access of my device to you till user mode only. I will configure one enable password on my router. Okay guys, so this is use of user mode, because here I can see run show command. After the show also I have lots of options. See, you can run these all command in this mode. So next mode is enable mode, because here I can only see the configuration. So here I am not able to enter in enable mode. I need to configure something. So you have to enable one password on router number 1. So let me say enable password. Also let's say 123. Now you can see it is asking enable password 123. Now I am in enable mode. After that, guys, to move in global configure mode, I will run command config t. Okay, so hope these three commands are clear. Now do so run. See, in the running configuration, I am able to see password, right? So let's suppose PC1 is one client who have access of your router number 1. They know your password as well, because your password is in plain text. Anyone can read it. So if you want to encrypt this password, here on the router you can run one command, that is service password encryption. After running this command on router, you can see from the PC1 you have telnet access. So here you can run so run command, and now you can see password is encrypted, right? So this is encryption of 123. As I told you, algorithm, in the algorithm, if you will put the data, it will generate one key for you, has value. So we have actually multiple algorithm in networking, right? Like very popular algorithm nowadays is AES, right? So you will see how this algorithm work for encrypting the password. Now I have encrypted all type of password on my router. All types of password are encrypted. So run. Even you can see on the line protocol, on line VTY, on the line VTY interface also is one password, but you can see your password is encrypted. And what is this 7? We will talk about it. But guys, in real time, how you will access the router? Yes, yes. Go ahead, brother. Yes, anyone has question? Yeah, SSH. So here is the command to enable these all protocol. In real time, you will enable SSH. What is the command? Right? Mode. After that, basic configuration on router. Guys, before starting the configuration, let me discuss one more thing. Memory on router. Right? After that, we will discuss this, and then we'll start routing. Memory on devices. And guys, in real time, how you will access the device? Let's suppose this is router in your rack. So here in the simulation, I can click on the router and I can get CLI, correct? But in real time, how you will access it? Through which cable? Crossover cable, or straight through cable, or rollover cable? Which cable you will use to access router? Console cable, rollover cable, for management purpose. To manage the device, you need a console cable. So you need one laptop or computer, then one console cable, and you can connect this console cable to PC. On which port I will connect cable? On console port, and then on my PC. Now can I access? router from this PC? Yes, in the PC you will install some software like putty, secure CRT, and through that you will log into router. So in packet tracer, see in the desktop mode I have terminal option, so I can click on the terminal to get access of router. Say okay. Now see, I don't have access. So connecting console cable from a PC to router, you should have knowledge of port as well, like where you are going to connect cable. Like here you can see we have fast ethernet 0/0, also we have fast ethernet 0/1, also two interface for to connect to network together. Then I have one console port, then I have one auxiliary port. Even if you will zoom this router view, let me see the front view and zoom in, see how router look like. So guys, this is on off button, then power button, power cable. Through this port you are going to provide power to your router, then you have one switch to turn it on and off. After that, see, you have two fast ethernet link port to connect two network together. You can connect this port with one switch and this port with one another switch, right? Or one port with switch and one port with internet, right? So this is how router looks like. So you are going to install it in the rack. After that you will power it up, then you will turn it on, then you will connect this console port to your computer. Because if this router is, let's say, brand new router, right, so that means there is no configuration, even there is no IP configuration, so you cannot telnet it. Am I right? Maybe this router is not connected with network, or even if you will connect this network to any other networking devices, then also first you have to up the port, because by default ports are down. Maybe on the port DHCP is enabled, or DHCP will provide correct IP address. That can be possibility. It is possible that automatically once you will turn it on, this router is going to store configuration as well from any other networking devices, but you have to up the port, right? So you have to configure this router. And guys, to increase the port on router, I have some slots here, so I can insert card with port, right? So this is my console port and this is auxiliary port. So if I need to access this router, first time I'm going to configure this router, right? So I will connect my PC to this console port, I will open terminal, and then I will get access in user mode. So here in my scenario, let me use console. Yes, on the router only console port. If you will insert it on the auxiliary port, then maybe you will not get access. If you will insert it in fast ethernet, you will not get access, right? So insert cable correctly on the console port. Now from the PC, this is terminal, and say okay. Now you can see I have access of my router. So this is how you will access router on in the real time in the rack. Now after accessing it, you can verify some configuration. So running configuration, you are not allowed to run this command, so run here. So IP interface brief, you can check IP configuration, you can see nothing is here. Now on this router guys, first of all I have two types of memory. One, whatever configuration I am going to perform on this router, like configuring IP address, where it will store. Router will store that information in which memory. So see, on the router I am going to configure one host name, let's say host name R1. So guys, it is going to store it in their running configuration, and running configuration is part of RAM. memory on router. How many types of memory I have? RAM, ROM, flash, anything else? Cache is part of RAM, right? So running configuration, whatever configuration you are going to perform on router, that will store in RAM. So RAM is going to store your running configuration. Running configuration. Then ROM. Guys, flash is going to store main operating system, that is iOS, right? But I have backup of iOS in ROM. So in ROM I will have one mini iOS for backup. Let's say if my iOS get corrupted, then my router can load with mini iOS. So I will install mini iOS here in the ROM, right? Now tell me what is the issue here. Guys, RAM is an volatile memory. Volatile memory means if power will goes down, then configuration will lost. RAM is non-volatile memory. So whatever configuration I am going to perform on the router, it will delete these all whenever power will goes down. Then this is the issue. You will perform the configuration if let's say electricity will goes off for some time, or if someone will turn it off. So we need to save the configuration. So that is a startup configuration. A startup configuration, and a startup configuration is part of one another type of memory that is NVRAM. This is also a RAM, right? Same RAM but non-volatile. RAM is volatile memory, NVRAM is non-volatile memory. So if you will copy running configuration content in a startup configuration, that means you have saved the configuration. Yes or no, guys? If you are going to upgrade iOS version, that means you are going to work on flash memory. If you are doing the configuration, that means you are saving it in RAM. So if you will not save it, then it will not move to a startup configuration. And if your content is in RAM, then it will goes lost when power will goes down. You will lost the configuration. Right? So I have one thing that I want to show you to understand memory. Just give me 1 minute. Not here. Memory of router, RAM. RAM stands for random access memory. It is volatile in nature. When power goes off from the device, the content of RAM will lost. In RAM, we can read and write the content. As I told you, either you can show the configuration or you can perform the configuration, right? So verifying the configuration, when you are running command show IP interface brief, that means you want to check the IP on interface. So you are allowed to read also and you are allowed to write also. Then guys, we have ROM. ROM stands for read only memory and it is non-volatile in nature, right? Third type of memory is NVRAM. NVRAM stands for non-volatile random access memory, non-volatile RAM. It is a type of RAM in which content will be content will remain same if power goes off. Then we have what? Flash memory. And flash is a type of ROM memory. Type of ROM. So actually we have two types of memory, RAM and ROM, and we divided it further like RAM and ROM. After that we come up with one another type of RAM, that is NVRAM, and one another type of ROM, that is flash. Done. Then content. So RAM is going to store routing table, ARP table, running configuration, and interface buffer memory. So right now also you can see on this router I have some configuration. So running configuration. So run. See, we have some default configuration on this router. On the switches also, guys, you can even check it on switch also. On the switch also you will have this configuration. These are default configuration, and size of default configuration is 598 bytes. Host name R1. So see, where is the configuration? In the running config, means in the RAM. Right, like this I can check a startup configuration also, like room. So startup configuration. See, a startup configuration is not present, we don't have anything. But if I will run command copy running configuration into a startup configuration, so you can see I have now copied the data. So now if you will run command show a startup configuration, so you can see you have same configuration in a startup also. That means you have saved the configuration. Now your configuration is in NVRAM, right? So if I will talk about the RAM, so RAM store these information, guys. After that ROM. So ROM store mini IOS, as I told you. Post power on self test. Whenever you will turn on the device, first of all it will perform this task. It will check their interfaces, their hardware. If their hardware is working fine, then only software is going to work fine. If there is some issue with hardware, then it will give you error. So post process will happen first. After that it will store IOS from the flash memory to RAM, right? So ROM store this information. Bootstrap program. Bootstrap program means process to load operating system from flash to RAM. Process to load operating system from flash to RAM. See, because on a router, brother, let's say this is my router. On this router I have several types of memory. Where is my operating system? In the flash iOS. So to boot up, to load up, first of all this router need to copy this operating system in RAM. So bootstrap program will copy it in the RAM. After that NVRAM, a startup configuration means saved configuration. So NVRAM carry a startup configuration file, configuration register value. Now very interesting topic, what is configuration register value? Just give me 1 minute. After that flash, which is going to store main IS image of router and switch. So is content clear? RAM, ROM, NVRAM and flash. Now see, guys, booting process. So when the device will power on, post process will run. Post stand for power on self test. In post process, device will check that the all hardware components are working or not. bootstrap will run and it will try to load IS image in RAM. Bootstrap process is sequence of a small code like program, and configuration register value is used to load IS. By default, configuration register value is 0x2102. Guys, what is configuration register value? This is something which is help to work with operating system, right? Which is help to tell a router or switch how you should boot up. So if you want to change the booting behavior of your router, you need to change the register value. So if we have this register value by default, that means C, the by default process of router. Where is by default behavior? Hey, 1 second, brother. Just I'm coming to your point. By default configuration register behavior is, here I am going to delete startup configuration, or if I will reload this router, then my running configuration will lost. But I have so run, so startup. I have my data in startup configuration, so my router is automatically going to load it. So when router is going to boot up, when this router will boot up, what it will do? First of all, it will install IS from flash to RAM, right? Then your router is going to look up NVRAM, means your startup configuration. Is there anything? If there is something, then it will copy to RAM. So in this scenario, my configuration is in NVRAM, so it will copy it. But let's say on this router, someone have configured the password, right? And I don't know the password. So how I can access this router? So guys, see, where is the password on router? In the RAM as well as in the NVRAM. How I can delete RAM data? By turning it off and turning it on. Once I will turn off, all my RAM data will erase. Then question is how I will delete NVRAM data. To delete the password, or how I can check NVRAM data to see the password. Actually, I have to tell to my router with the help of register value that, brother, whenever you will boot up, don't copy NVRAM data. Please boot up with IS from the flash only. So if you will change the configuration register value, router will not ask for password. And now you have access of your router. Now you can check a startup configuration. You can see the password. If you want, you can remove the password, right? So this is all about memory. By default, configuration register value is 0x021, and by default behavior is copy IS, means operating system, from flash into RAM, and then copy NVRAM data in RAM. NVRAM data in RAM. This is by default behavior of this configuration register value. This one 0x2102. Now guys, the IS image will check from flash. If IS is found, then it will load in RAM. If IS not found, then IS image will check from TFTP server. So in real time, as I told you, you will have one server to store configuration of each devices, so that you can have backup on a centralized device. So it can check IS on TFTP as well. Let's suppose on your router, flash memory is not working fine, right? So you will not get access to router because your router will not boot up. Now what option you have? How you can upload IS on the router? From the TFTP. I can configure TFTP and I can tell my router, please copy IS from TFTP server, then it will copy from TFTP. But now, right now, it is looking for, it is looking in flash memory. So these changes depends on register value only. If a IS found, then it will be loaded in RAM. If IS not found, then router will load mini IS from the ROM, and here we can load in flash. Once the IS image is loaded in the RAM, router check NB RAM to get a startup configuration file. So it will copy a startup configuration file into RAM. If a startup configuration file not found, then it will load it without any saved configuration, with default configuration. With default configuration. How to break password on router? So password is saved in NBRAM, correct? Now try to understand some configuration register value. So register value is 16 bits value represented in hexadecimal, stored in NVRAM. By default configuration register value on router is 0x2102. And how I can verify it? I can run command show version. On this router I can say show version. What is my configuration register value by default? 0x2102. And guys, we have some more. You need to learn some more configuration register value like 0x2100, 0x2142, and see the booting behavior of these two configuration register value. Yeah. Okay. Got your answer question. See guys, on router, how many password I can configure? I can configure one password on console port. Right now, see, I am able to access this router without any password. Simply, my PC is connected with console cable. So like this, anyone can access my router, yes or no? Anyone can connect their computer with console port and they can access. So no, first of all, we will do what? We will configure one password on console port. Right now you can see PC 0 is connected with router 1 on console port. So I am going to configure one password on console port. Let me do one thing. Let me configure one password, say line console 0 and say password 123. Now if anyone will try to access this router on console port, it will ask for password. So see, one thing, and you need to say login. Config t and line console 0 0 and say login. Until you will not run login means please ask for password. And guys, here I have two options. Either I can say login or I can say login local, this command. So login local means ask for username as well as password, and login means only ask for password. So now you can see here I have run this command login. Now if I will try to access this router from PC, will it allow? It is asking for password, right? Go to terminal and say okay. It will ask for password. If you don't know the password, then you cannot access this router. And guys, if I will say login local, then on the router I am going to say login local. Login local. Now if this machine will try to access it without password, it is asking for username, first username, right? Username and password. So now on the router I have to create one username as well. Again on the router it is asking for username. Is there any username on router, guys, by default? No. So how you can access the router? And your passwords are in configure, means running configuration in the RAM. So if you will turn off the device, it will lost. So first on the router I'm going to create one user so that I can authenticate the client, whoever try to access this router through telnet. So let me create one user. Username is, let's say, admin. And then guys, I'm going to define privilege level. Privilege level means you want to give access of only user mode or till privilege load, means what command you are going to allow to your employee. You can control on it, right? Let's say I want to give access of this router in user mode only, or I want to give some commands access, so I can create a user, and for that user I can set the privilege level, and you are only allowed to configure OSPF. Let's say in my company, let's say 3 engineers are working, one on OSPF, one on BGP, and one on EIGRP. So I will give EIGRP access only to the who are working on EIGRP, to the OSPF who is working on OSPF, BGP to who is working for BGP. For now you can ignore privilege level also, because we will discuss it later as well. Then password. Password is, let's say, 123. Now I have one user on this router, so this user can access this router through console port. Now it will ask for username first, and this client machine have username and password. Don't know why it's not working correctly. Username admin, password 123. And where this configuration is, guys, present in which memory? In RAM, right? So a startup in the room, there is nothing in the room. In the room also we have configuration, but you can see username and password is not there, right? Username and password is not there, only host name configuration are there, right? So I need to save this configuration, so I will write command and so startup. Now in the startup configuration also you can see username and password. No, this machine is not working correctly, so let me use one another PC here. console port. On the router, I think, so run line console, so run. Here you can see the line console configuration. There is nothing on line console interface. So again, I am going to configure line console 0, and here I am going to say login local, so that it will verify with username and password. After that, I am going to configure one password 123. Done. Now from the PC, if you will access this router, it will ask for username. So username is admin, password is 123. Now you can see this machine is able to access this router, right? Now guys, not anyone can access this router. Now only authorized user can access this router, and to configure it, I will run enable command. Now I am in enable mode. So let's suppose I want to configure this router on interface fast ethernet 0/0. I want to configure one IP, so I can configure, or I can say IP address DHCP. Whatever configuration I will perform on the router, it will store in RAM. And after that, I will run new set command. Sorry, copy running configuration to a startup configuration to save it. Or in shortcut, you can run write command. IP address 10.1.1.255.255.255.0 no set. Like this, I have configured the router. Now the second option is how I can access this router. Second option to access the router, telnet. So let's suppose here I have one PC on fast ethernet 0/0. So I can telnet this router through physical interface IP address, right? Through the IP address, and that IP address should be reachable from the router. And guys, to enable telnet on router, you are going to use one virtual interface. That virtual interface is VTY, line VTY. So I am going to create one virtual interface, and there I will run login local command to authenticate. Like on the router, I have physically what? Console port to connect with PC, and then I can access the router. This is console access through console port. But to access remotely through telnet, you have to get one virtual interface here. On that virtual interface, I will configure the features. So on the router, by default telnet is enabled. That means we have already line VTY interface here, line VTY 0. And guys, 0 to 4. Sometime I am running 0 to 4. It means what? It means 5 user can access this device through telnet at a time, right? If I am saying 0, that means only one device can telnet this router at a time, right? So let's say 0 and then login local. Should I need to create username and password user? No, user is already there. So one user is already there on the router who can access this router. So on the line VTY interface, I have configured this command login local, and then guys password. What password you want to configure here? 123. And on fast ethernet 0/0 IP address is 10.1.1.1. So interface, so IP interface brief 10.1.1.1. So let me configure .2 on PC, and let me try to access it through telnet. Or I can use one router here. You can use this router as a PC. 10.1.1.2 255 255 255.0. Now can I telnet? Can I telnet router 1? Telnet 10.1.1.1. It is asking username. So username is admin. Password 123. See, I have access. But guys, both interfaces are now secure. I have configured the password online video also and on the telnet also. What third option I have? What third option I have, guys, to access the router? SSH, right? So for yeah, virtual means, yeah, zero VTY zero is configured on the router is the telnet server, no brother. You are accessing router from PC. So now you have access of router 1. Here you can run command. So run first enable command. Here you are not able to run enable command because enable password is not set on your router. So simply you can access router first and run run and see line VTY configuration. In the running configuration, where is line VTY configuration? Line VTY 0. This is line VTY configuration, brother. This is on line VTY 0 and sorry, this one, and these are these two commands on line VTY 1 to 4. No, IP is not required, no, brother. On the console port, do you have IP to access this router? Through console port is IP address required? No, we don't have any IP on console port. Actually, telnet VTY is just a virtual interface on router. Through that, you are accessing it. IP address is going to be any IP address of router. It can be a fast Ethernet 0/0 or 0/1. Requirement is that IP address should be reachable from PC. Done. So guys, I have configured password on console port. I can set enable password. So to configure enable password, simply you will run command like this. Enable config t enable and then password 123. Now to break the password, you have to understand configuration division number. You already know what is configuration division number. It is 16 bits value represented in hexadecimal, and I have 3 configuration register value. Behavior of default is copy IS from flash to RAM and then copy startup configuration from NB RAM. Memory on router. Booting behavior of default configuration revision number, right? So it will copy IS from the flash memory, then it will copy NVRAM data. NVRAM data means saved data. It will not check ROM. So guys, if your flash will get corrupted, then what you will do? You will change configuration division number first, so that your router should try to load IS from ROM to ROM to RAM. ROM to RAM. With this configuration division number, it will load IS from flash to RAM. Right? So if you want to play with IS operating system, you will play with revision number, configuration revision number. The second value, 0x2102c. If you will set this configuration revision number on the router, what will happen? It will only copy IS from the flash. It will not copy NVRAM data. So guys, in my scenario, let's suppose in the packet tracer, I have configured different password. Let's say that I don't like online console 0. I have configured password this one, right? On line VTY 0 to 4, I have configured password this one. I don't know the password. I have configured the enable password as well. Even let's suppose enable password this one. Now I don't know the password. I have saved the configuration. See guys, if I will turn it off, if I will off the device, then my configuration will go, my configuration will lost. I will lost the configuration, right? It will not ask me for any password. But if I will save the configuration, that means now my password is saved in NVRAM. So now if I will turn off this device, and when it will turn on, how I can access it, because this time I don't know the password. See, on the router there are multiple password. On each interface password is there. See, it is asking for username and password. I'm not able to access it. Even I cannot access this router through console port, because there is one password on console port as well, right? It is also asking for username. Even I cannot telnet this router. Telnet 10.1.1.1. It will ask for username and password. So how I can access this router now? Now I can tell my router to do not copy NVRAM data in RAM. Then it is not going to copy, correct guys? Because right now configuration revision number is 0x2102. Right now configuration revision number on router is 0x02. So it is loading all saved configuration. So that's why your password is in RAM now. If password is in RAM, then it will ask you. If password is not in RAM, it will not ask you. Because router is going to boot up with RAM content only. So I can set this configuration revision number. Now to change configuration revision number, what you can do? You can turn off your device, then you can turn it on, and while booting, you will press Ctrl plus C. While booting, if you will press Ctrl plus C, then you will enter in Roman mode. Guys, again I have now one new mode on router. Till now we talked about user mode, enable mode, and global config mode. Now I am talking about the Roman mode. So Roman mode is used to configure configuration division number, right? And to enter in Roman mode, simply while booting I need to press Ctrl plus C. See, like on router, on this router, if I will turn it off, again turn it on, it will ask for password. I will not get access, right? Now this router is booting. That means it will copy NVRAM data in the RAM. See, now it's asking for username and password. So what I will do, while booting this time I will press Ctrl plus C. So see, router is booting. Let me turn it on. Router is booting. I will press Ctrl plus C. Now you can see I am in Roman mode. And guys, in Roman mode I can change configuration revision number, right? So if you want to escape NVRAM data, you can set this configuration revision number. Okay. Then the router will store mini IS from ROM to RAM in two cases. Router is going to store IS, mini IS from the ROM in two cases. One is when flash will crash, if flash is not working, and when configuration division number is 0x2100. So as I told you, if your iOS is corrupt, is not working, your router is not able to boot up. So what you will do, you will access your router in Roman mode and you will set this configuration division number. Got it guys? Can I move? You can perform the lab of it, or should I configure it guys on the router here? Tell me if I need to configure it here. So simply I will, okay, so let me copy this configuration division number and I am going to, so see, to pass for password recovery we need to change configuration division number from this to this. So here command is, see, in the Roman mode, now I have access in Roman mode, and guys in Roman mode you have lots of commands. See, put the question mark, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, 7 commands are available, like tftp to load IS from the tftp server. I can reset this router, I can check the directory, or I can change the configuration division number. So to change configuration division number, I will run this command config. Right after that, configuration division number. So I want to set what configuration division number? This one. So that it will not copy password. Set, hit enter, and now reset the router. Now it will boot up with new configuration division number, this one. So with this configuration division number, it will not load startup configuration NVRAM data in RAM. Yes or no? So say no. So that's why you can see, brother, you have default configuration, no password. Now if you want to see the password, simply you can check startup configuration, because your configuration is in a startup. See here, enable password, this one, username admin password, on the line VTY interface also. So this is how I can break the password, right? Now what I can do guys, can I copy my startup configuration in running configuration? First of all, you have to check the configuration. After that, after checking the password, you can run command copy startup to running. Now I have copied the configuration. Again, I don't know the password, so simply what I will do, I will say no enable password. I have removed the password. Then go to line console 0, say no password, then line VTY 0, say no password. Now again I can access this router from console port as well as from the telnet port, from the telnet. So username admin, password is not set, 1 2 3. So run. Now you can set the password. Now you can configure again new password. So this is how you can break password on router. Clear to all? And bro, if your flash is corrupted, then you need to set what configuration division number? This one. In the same way, first you will enter in Roman mode and then you can run command config. After that, reset the router. It will boot up with new configuration division number. Right? Mini IS, हाँ पहले से ही रोम में रहता है, राइट? और या copy of main IS, main operating system. Yes. Some? Yes. Windows operating system is running over here. No, no, here we have Windows operating system. On Cisco router I have iOS operating system. No, brother, from Windows operating system I am accessing router number 1. Like this computer, on this computer I am running what? Windows operating system. Let's suppose I am a network engineer, I am working for a company, right? And I need to configure their router. So I will access that router from my PC, na? Right? So I will install Putty software. Putty, this software. Here I will put IP address of the router or switch. And as I told you, that IP address should be reachable from my computer. Then here I can select that protocol, telnet, right? Then I will open the session. It will ask for username and password. This is how I will configure router. Telnet mode. In the console mode also, what I will do, I will connect router to my PC on console port, and then I will open again Putty, and in the Putty you can see I have one console option as well. Putty, this serial, right? Then you can enter your COM port here. You can check your COM port, serial port, which is connected with router. This is how you can access through console port. In both scenario, I will use same software Putty, or secure CRT is also there. So operating system is different now. On the PC operating system is Windows. On the Windows operating system, I have one application, that is Putty, and through that Putty I am accessing Cisco operating system. Oh brother, I am talking about router memory, not PC, Windows PC memory. Bro, I am talking, yeah, on the router only, not on Windows operating system. I am not teaching you Windows operating system. In the Cisco operating system, if you will set configuration with revision number 01200, then it will load mini IS from the room. I don't know what is the booting behavior of Windows operating system. Okay? Yes. Yes. Even this PC is not part of network as well. This is for management purpose. This right now I am using this PC for management purpose to manage this router. No IP address is required. But to ping the router, IP address is required. You have to connect it through Ethernet port, not through console cable. Through console cable, you cannot ping the router. Okay, so now guys, you know how in this scenario PC1 and PC2 will communicate with each other. You know how telnet will work between router 1 and PC, or between router 2 and PC2 and router 1. How these devices can telnet it. If there is one HTTP server, how these devices can access HTTP service. If there is DNS server, DHCP. So in my scenario, router 1 is my DHCP server. Correct? Now I can start routing. Right? You know how to connect the devices, right? To connect n devices, what centralized device you will use, and which type of cable you will use? Ethernet cable, right? A straight through. According to your requirement, you are going to decide the Ethernet cable, like it will be fast Ethernet or gig Ethernet. Then to connect multiple network, you are going to use, yes, layer 3 device, that is router. And you know how to perform subnetting for real-time network, like to implement network in campus, to to implement network in a building with lots of departments. You can perform subnetting, and then you can do addressing. Even you can set up the DSCP so that client machines can get IP address. One more thing is here, guys, that you don't know how wireless devices will get connected with network. So before starting routing, let me discuss something about wireless devices as well. Right. So in next class we will talk about wireless network. What technology we are going to use to create wireless network? WLAN. WLAN means wireless LAN. LAN means local area network, means implementing network in building. And wireless LAN means is connected together, all devices are connected together wirelessly without need of wire. So IP addressing, connecting devices, layer 2 troubleshooting, cabling troubleshooting, duplex, you can manage these all things. Like in this scenario, this is my building 1. If in building 1, guys, I have multiple floors. So you know how to perform subnetting, but you don't know how to implement the subnetted network in this building. So don't worry, we will see that topic, that is VLAN, later. After that, guys, you need to understand, if I have these LAN at different location, let's say I have one LAN in Delhi, so here also I have one router. I have one LAN in Mumbai, here also I have one router. I have one router in Bangalore, and I have one router in, let's say, Chennai, right? And they all are connected with each other. So how to make reachability between these routers, right? How to make reachability between these routers, how to configure routing here, how to configure static routing, dynamic routing. Okay, so our topology is going to be this one: R1, R2, R3 first. Then I have 3 LAN, one LAN here X, one LAN Y, and one LAN here, that is Z. So by default, router 1 have information of which network, guys? X network only. Router 2 have only Y network information. Router 3 have only Z network information. So you need to configure how many network on router number 1? 2. Y and Z. On router number 2, X and Z. On router number 3, X and Y. Do I need to configure this subnet on router number 1? Here let's say subnet is P and Q. Is Q network required on router number 1? No. Router 1 is never going to ping this IP address, this network, right? Because my end-to-end task is these users should be able to communicate with each other. These networks should be reachable with each other, right? So we are not going to install this network in the routing table of R1 or this network in the routing table of R3. Then also they can communicate with each other. But in the dynamic routing, by default, dynamic routing protocol advertise these networks as well, right? So you will learn route filtering, how we will filter unwanted prefix, because this is a small network. But in the large network, guys, like this, we will have lots of subnet between devices, and all routers are going to learn it, install it in the routing table that are not required. So we will filter those prefixes. So after the routing we need to understand filtering as well, how I can filter unwanted prefixes. Okay, don't worry, we will see these all things in upcoming days. First let me discuss some basic wireless in next class, then I will move further. Okay, now if anyone have question please ask.